Let's bring on board then Naveen Kulkarni. He joins in, Head of Research at Reliance Securities, to share with us his outlook on the markets. Naveen, hi there, good morning. What's the sense that you're getting, given the fact that in the past, history has shown that the large bearish stances by the FPIs have led to some sort of a 5 to 8% rally in the past. Do you think that this time as well, the kind of oversold market that we're looking at could lead to a bounce back anytime soon?
You see, what's happening right now is that we have seen some bit of a bounce back, which to some extent was expected. Reason being, one is the global noise on or the global challenges that we saw on trade talks that have receded a bit, right? So there was some bit of bounce back which was expected, and that has happened now. But going ahead, we are in a very, very volatile period in terms of how the market is going to behave, at least for the next 3 months. Reason being, we are seeing a lot of challenges in the BFSI sector, right? So there are liquidity challenges which are permeated across various sectors, which are resulting in the sluggishness in the overall growth, right? So the next 3 months are going to be crucial. Post that, I think from the period of, let's say, October, November, we should start seeing some bit of semblance coming back into the market, right? But the next 3 months are going to remain a tough period for us.
Okay, so you believe that the volatility is likely to continue and we could see a tough period continue. Naveen, just a short while ago, we were talking about what is happening within the auto space. Lots of offers being doled out by the companies in order to lure customers. Do you believe that given the impending slowdown that we're seeing within the sector, that there's still some time away before we see an actual recovery kick in, and that you would remain a bit circumspect, or are there select opportunities within auto?
Yeah, so stock-wise, there are definitely opportunities. There is no doubt about that, because the valuations have corrected quite a bit. The valuations across the board, I would say, have reached a zone where they are quite reasonable. For example, Hero with a 4% dividend yield is a very, very reasonable, I would say that in terms of valuations. But having said that, what's going to happen in terms of the operating performance is going to be somewhat is a big challenge. So in the last quarter, when the companies reported numbers, right, most of the managements refrained from giving any kind of guidance of what's going to happen during the year, right? So that's how uncertain the whole demand environment has been. If you look at the inventory days are very, very high across the sector. Some bit of inventory corrections have happened because of production cuts in the near term. But overall, if we see, let's say, two-wheelers or the CVs, the inventory days are very, very high. So the channel continues to suffer. Then we are just 6 months away from BS6 being implemented, right? So the sector is seeing a lot of challenges. It needs some sort of a push from the government. That I think is a very, very clear takeaway. In terms of pecking order, I would say that we are more comfortable with the two-wheeler space than passenger vehicles. Then I would say that probably the CV space. So CV will take more time. But passenger vehicles, but the two-wheeler space where dividend yields and valuations have come down quite a bit, I don't think so the stocks are going to correct too much, and people will start looking at, let's say, FY21 kind of numbers, how this sector is going to behave. So I believe that the two-wheelers have pretty much bottomed out. Passenger vehicles could take a little more time, CVs could take even longer.
Talking about the auto space, so tell us what within auto then appeals to you. Are there any select bets that you like, Naveen, within the auto space?
Yeah, so as I just said, so we upgraded Hero Motors to buy during this quarter. The reason being, one is, of course, the valuations are quite reasonable. There is comfort in terms of the dividend yield. Third aspect is that the monsoon has been much better, right? We are in an excess zone right now, which is probably, I think, after quite some time we are seeing that, and the distribution has been pretty good. So the rural demand could improve I'm not saying that there is a 100% guarantee that the rural demand will improve, but there are more chances that the rural demand is likely to improve in the next quarter. We are going to see a good Rabi crop, so on and so forth. So once the outlook improves, I think people will start spending. So two-wheelers could be the beneficiary of that, right? So in that sense, I think two-wheeler stocks are attractive, and Hero is our topic in that space.
Idea now, now that the CEO as well has stepped down, I mean, are the prospects just concentrated with Reliance, or is Bharti still in the favor?
So if you look at telecom as an industry, so India is a huge market which cannot be serviced by one player alone. So it's at least a 2 or a 3 player market. Idea, Vodafone have had their own set of challenges in terms of integration, in terms of spectrum footprint, right? And the underinvestment which has happened in the business over the years. So these problems cannot be corrected in a very, very short time frame. They will take much, much longer. And what happens during that time frame, how many subscribers they lose, and whether they are able to service the debt correspondingly is an operational as well as a financial challenge which the company is finding it very, very difficult to address at this point in time. But if you look at the other player, which is Bharti has pretty much bucked the trend, right? So they have managed to maintain their revenue market share. They have managed to improve their ARPU, right? So there are things which are in favor. If you look at the current operating metrics in terms of data usage per customer, right? For Bharti, it is probably better than Jio in terms of the data usage per customer, right? So from that perspective, of course, Bharti has stood its ground. It is managing its business very well. Operational performance has improved quite a bit. So Bharti definitely is there in the race. And in a two-player market, if you do any kind of valuation, Bharti's present value will work out to be much higher than what it is right now. So I think Bharti is definitely there, and I think it's a very, very interesting bet to be looking at in from the telecom space.
Naveen, any other top mid-cap ideas?
So in terms of mid-cap, what we tend to like is in the IT space. Reason being, IT space is a space where there is good amount of earnings visibility, very, very strong cash flows. More importantly, valuations continue to be reasonable, right? So from that perspective, like two ideas in the IT mid-cap space, which is Hexaware and Sonata, we continue to like. So that's a space which is appealing to us. Apart from that, I would say that at this point in time, the mid-cap space as such, which is difficult to gauge what the prospects are in the near to medium term. I would say that we are a little bit of skeptical in terms of how things are going to evolve over the next 3 to 6 months. Wherever there is strong earnings visibility, I think that is an area to be still invested in.
All right. I think we'll leave it there this morning. Naveen, thanks as always for joining us and taking us through the latest there.